Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Warrior Skill Test, or Skill Show. We will now start using his abilities to see what they can do. First ability is normal for a warrior of any game. Always have to have a war cry ability, which in this game it does a little bit of damage. However, the main function of it is that it reduces the damage of the enemies by 45%. As you can read, and when you upgrade it, it also reduces their armor by 16% and have a 16% of making them panic and run away in fear. So I'm guessing this guy won't be alone. So there you go. That is the attack, and as you can see, he dies very quickly. Thus his armor got reduced, and I hit him twice and he's dead. Very easy thing to do. Very good ability if you want crowd control. See, without that ability, as you can see, it takes 3 hits to kill that guy. Want to use that ability? It takes only 2 hits, and as you can also see there, he was affected by the 16% that makes him go in panic and run away, which give you ample opportunity to deal out damage without taking any. Great, now I'm out of chat room. Melee weapon preferred by mages. Yeah, I know. Can I actually use it? Good lord, I can. So I can't, like, basically use any abilities for the weapons, but I can do a normal flurry attack. And it looks so beautiful, look at it. Mage's weapons are, like, amazing. Alright, enough of that. Let's switch back to actual weapons that can actually deal more damage. Actually, let's switch back to that. My sword actually has fire damage now, so hopefully it'll be more entertaining to see it in action. Alright, onto our second ability, which is a shield thing. Let's see what it actually does. It is grant a short-term resistance. Alright, so it's basically a Alright, so with this basically a shield which increases your armor rating. Yeah. So basically a passive ability, I think. Short term, alright, never mind. It only lasts for 20 seconds. Alright, so when you upgrade it, you get a 20% chance to reflect any damage to you. When you upgrade it again, it'll have a 20% chance to steal health. Interesting. So let's activate it. As you can see, they're taking they are taking damage from their own attack. If the 20% actually comes into play. And you can also see that when this ability is active, I don't stagger when the enemy is attacking. I just shrug it off. So you basically become a movable tank. And got hit by that ability. Yes, I know, I'm getting hit on purpose, idiot. I don't have the skill. So, yep. Very simple skill, and the 20% damage thing doesn't seem to happen very often. So it's 1/5. There you go. So my ability is now off, and as you can see, I'm taking a lot more damage. And I'm being staggered every time hit. Skill up. Alright, so onto the third ability, which is a harpoon ability. Not many games have this ability, sadly, for the warrior, and the only game I can think of that has this ability in an RPG setting is a long time ago. Then you may know the game. You know, the game is actually called Nox, N-O-X. That game was an RPG back in like 2000s. The game was very good, and that's the only game that actually has the harpoon ability for the warrior type. And I haven't seen any harpoon ability since then. Which is quite sad. So what it does is that it actually do a little bit of damage, and what it is for is that it's for using it against range units or range enemies, so that you can pull them closer to you, and you'll deal out some damage without actually having to run towards them. Like so. Very simple ability, but very useful later in the game when you're fighting mostly range units. But trust me, later in the game, as always, RPGs, there's a lot more range unit in late game than early game. Simply because warriors are bad against range unit for obvious reasons. So let's kill this guy with a harpoon. Go. Simple. Nothing hard. Alright, onto the fourth ability, which is called Battle Frenzy. What it basically does, it adds 100% damage to your attacks. However, you're taking more damage too. So, as this ability is activated, you will take more damage, but you also deal out more damage. So kill the enemy before the enemy kills you, kind of way. One upgrade, it actually increases your physical defense and piercing defense. Is that right? I'm gonna say right, physical. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Ignore that last part. It actually increases physical and piercing damage. So it basically increases all damage that you deal by a 20% boost. And the last one is increasing your attack speed. So like I said, kill your enemies before they kill you kind of ability. So once you activate it, make sure you kill your enemies. You know, and always activate this ability when you have high amount of health. If you do not want to activate an ability that, you know, makes you take more damage, while you have low health, because you can die very fast. Kind of obvious, but I'd like to point that out anyways. I wonder if you can activate it with your defensive ability. Let's see. So I will activate my defensive ability, and I will activate. Oh, look at that! I can. So my defense is up, and good lord, and there you go. So when you're using number 4, make sure you always have your defensive ability activate when you're in combat. Simply because it'll neutralizes the damage, extra damage that you would take, and it'll give you a sturdy passive ability, which is so that you don't get staggered when you're hit. So without activating that ability, let's see how effective. Why are they running away from me? See, without actually the war ability, I can actually kill these guys in 2 hits. My bonus damage from my berserker or whatever ability. See, you can kill most enemies before they can even land a single hit on you because you attack so fast. Now, onto the actual damaging ability, instead of just, you know, boosting up your own damage with passive abilities like War Cry and Relentless Assault and Battle Frenzy. The warrior's first spell per se is called Quake. Basically what it is again, same thing as the mage, is a 3-hit combo spell, meaning if you hit it once, that's what it'll happen. You hit it twice, that's what happens, and then one more time, maximum damage. Alright, so let's see this ability in action. Again, this is the melee ability, so make sure you stand very close. And it's also a cone ability. As you can see, that one dude was standing right on the outside edge of the cone, so he doesn't take any damage. So aiming this ability is very crucial if you want to hit more than one. try it on those guys over there. In the how on this ability works is that what is it? Oh yeah, it does a cone damage each time you cast the ability. So like that. So anything within that area, it'll take 3 hits if you hit it first time. So that's 1, 2, and you die before I go like 3 times. Yes, I know. Shh. So onto the warrior's strongest ability, which is Wrath. Which what I can see is do you play Pokemon? I bet you play Pokemon at some point in your life. This ability reminds me of Seismic Toss, which is basically you grab your enemy, but this time it basically grabs every single enemy around you, jump into the air, and then slamming them down on the ground. So Seismic Toss in another name, in another form, yeah. So let's try that ability out. Let's try to get as much mobs in as possible. You're an archer, you just die now.
Hey.
So here we go. And there is your ultimate ability. Very damaging. Up and then smack them back down. I thought it would look a lot better, but it's not. Highly disappointed. So that's a very good mob control ability. Very powerful too. But the thing about that ability is that it's much better to do it on mobs. For example, if you're fighting a boss, you would not want to use that ability. You would want to activate your Berserk ability. There you go, and then you would want to constantly use your shield ability to neutralize the damage that you would take. And you also want to use battle to lower the enemy defense and attack. So basically debuff the enemy as much as possible and then buff yourself as much as possible. As in this ability, as you can see, it takes 150 mana to cast. I am level 17 and my mana is only 204, which means after you cast this ability, you will not be able to do any other skills for quite some time unless you use a pot. So during a boss fight, using that ability I would not recommend it. So the 2 damaging ability for the warrior is the Quake ability. Again, it shouldn't be used on a boss because it does way too little damage. Same thing with your ultimate ability for the area. Should not be used on a boss or one strong enemy. It's designed for the warriors so that he can take out mobs of enemies without having to, spam this, basically. Alright, so that has been the warrior. I hope that this will help you decide on which class you want to go in when this game is released. And I will see you guys in the next video.